So I have been wanting to make a dream catcher for the longest time, and I have a student that has been wanting to make one also, and this is very pretty. So this is for you, Judy, and this is very easy to make. I'm using a large hook, a G hook, for a thin acrylic crochet thread. It's called Artiste. And so this is what we want to do. We're going to go around, cross, and around. We're going to pick up the back. So this is a slip knot. And so here I am going to make my first 3 chains that count as my first double crochet, and I am going to make 12 double crochets into my loop in total, and that would be round number 1. So I will make 12 double crochets into that loop, and I will come back as soon as I do round number 1. Okay, I have my 12 double crochets. I am going to close my loop, and I am going to go into that first chain and slip stitch there. Oops, let me go get it. So slip stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to do my 3 chains up that count as my first double crochet, and I am going to make 2 double crochets in each chain. So I go to the next chain and make 1, 2. I got this closer, so yarn over, go into the next chain and make 1 and 2. I go to the next chain and make 1 and 2. So make 2 double crochets in each of the 12 chains, and you will have 24 in total. So this is the last one, and I want to make 2 double crochets into that loop, 1 and 2, and now I'm going to go into the first chain of that loop there, pass and pass. So slip stitch. It went away again, so let me go get it. Slip and slip. So now I want to make my 3 chains up, and I want to make another one there and chain 2, and I want to make 2 more double crochets there. That's 1 and 2. So this is what I'm doing. Into that first chain I'm making 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. So now I want to skip 2 chains, and into the third one I want to make 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 more double crochets. That's 1 and 2. So let's do that again. So we're going to skip 2 chains, and on the third one we're going to make 1 double crochet, another double crochet, chain 2 and 2 more double crochets into the same space. So on each space we have 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and we're going to go all around, and I'll see you at the end of this row. Okay, so I finished my round, and what I want to do is go into that the third chain up. Remember that you did 3 chains up, so go there and slip and slip. Now I don't want to be here, I want to be there. I want to be where I did my 2 chains in between the 2 double crochets. Remember, I did 2 double crochets and then 2 chains, 2 double crochets. That's where I want to be, but I don't want to pass my yarn all the way there. So I want to go into the next chain and slip. And then I want to go into the space where I want to be, pick up my yarn and slip. So now it's not noticeable where I slipped my 2 stitches there, but I'm on the space where I want to be, on those 2 chains there. So now I'm going to do my 3 chains up, and this time is going to be 3, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets into the same space. That's 1, 2 and 3. So there I have it. I have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now I go into the next space where I did my 2 chains right there. So I want to do again 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, chain 2 and 3 more. That's 1, 2 and 3. So I do that all around, and it will be the same thing 8 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And I'll see you when I finish this round. Okay, I finished my round. I'm going to slip stitch on that top chain again. Okay, so slip and slip. So now again I want to go in there and slip into the next chain, and then I want to slip and slip into that space between the 3 double crochets, the chain 2 and the 3 double crochets. I want to slip stitch there. So now I'm going to do the same thing but with 4. So what we did is that we did the 2 and then 3, and now we're going to do the 4, and that is, I'm going to go into that space, chain 3, and I am going to do 2, 3, 4 double crochets, chain 2 and 4 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then I go into the next space of the 2 chains, and I will do 4 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 2 and 4 more. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4 into that same space. So that is done. This fan here is done on into the 2 chains of every sequence. So I'll come back as soon as I'm done with this row. Okay, I finished my row. Let me show you, because like that I can show you how I slipped. So when I finished the row, I went and slipped into that first chain, and then I'm going to slip into the next chain and slip into the next chain and slip where I have my 2 chains. So now this is going to be a little bit different, but it is the next one is going to have 5, so that's my 3 chains up that count as 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and chain 2, and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But this time I am also going to chain 2 in between one and the other. So I made my 5, chain 2, 5, chain 2. And now I go into that space where the chain 2, the 4, chain 2. I go there and I do my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 2, and 5 more into the same space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and chain 2. And that's how I go around. I do 5, chain 2, 5, chain 2, and I go around like that. And I'll see you at the end of this row. Okay, so this row, what I did is I did my 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets into the same space, and then I chained 2, and then 5 double crochets, chain 2, and 5 double crochets into the next space, and then I chain 2. So chain 2 in every time that I change. So that means that here also at the end I need to chain 2, so I can go in to the first chain and slip stitch. Okay, so now what I want to do is slip stitch until I get to the 2 chains there. So slip stitch into each of the chains, and now I'm in the middle, slip stitch, and now I am going to make 6 double crochets into that space. 1, that's my 3 chains up, that's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now I'm not going to chain anymore. I'm just going to make 6, but in each space. So I have my 6 there, and then where I did my 2 chains between one side and the other, I'm going to do 6 double crochets in there also. No, I need to chain 2. So I did my 6 initial ones, and now I chain 2, and I go into that middle one, which is the space between each set. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now again get some. So now again I chain 2. Okay, so I'm on my last set. I did 6 on top of that fan there, and I'm going to make 6 more at the bottom. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so I am going to go to the first chain of the 6 that I did there, and pass and pass. So now I finished 6 on each space all around, and I am going to go into that middle one here, to the middle space of the 6 that I did on the upper part. So I'm going to go into there, into that space there, and I'm going to cut a long strand of yarn because I need to sew it around my hoop. And so I'm going to cut a long strand, and I am going to pass that strand. So pass it. There we go. So that is a piece that has been made, and this is the way we're going to do it. Now first, before you do anything else, you need to cover your hoop with the same material that you made your crochet dream catcher. So, or you can change, you can do another color if you wish. But what I did is that I used glue, the fabric glue, because that's what I had, and I put a little bit of glue on my hoop there. And now I started going around. I cut a piece of yarn, and I started going around and around and around and around, making sure that all these were together. And that's the way I did it. So around and around, and then when I'm there, I put a little bit more glue. So this is the way it looks. And now, after you do all around, you need to pick up the pieces, the corners of your dream catcher. Okay, so now what you want to do is get your yarn from the middle. Remember that we did that, so you want to hide that real well. So just pass it around those stitches from the wrong side. It's not going to show, so it's okay. Alright, so let's cut that, and we're going to pick up that strand of yarn that we left, real long one. We pass it through our needle, and we're going to go and sew it around. So let's go there and pass it through your hoop. So you're going to have that there, and then you go and pick up the middle stitch from the upper part. So you are going to pick up the upper parts only, not the 6 that are down, but the 6 that are on top of your fan. So you're going to pass it through and go around your hoop. There we go. And then pass through the next one. Pass through the next one right there on the upper part of that fan, and then go around your hoop You have to be very patient with this. So of course you're going to be separating them later. So now I go on top of my fan. I leave those 6 without, and I go on top of my fan there, and then go around my hoop. And I will see you when I do all of them. There's 8 of them. So try to separate them as best you can so that they have the same amount of space between one and the other, and tighten your string. So let's see, let's get that one a little bit tighter and get that one a little bit taut. Okay, so I think I have them separate enough. Now I can go around my hoop and make a knot there. So if you need the help of a clothespin, go ahead and do it. I did need it when I was doing my, so you use when you're gluing it around. So now I have a knot there. I'm going to make another one to make sure that it's secure. There we go. Okay. And of course I have a lot of string there to hang it. So make it straight, the same separation between one and the other. You can still move it around. So that is the way it looks, and that you're going to be hanging it from there. I think I'm going to move this around a little bit more, so play with it. And that's the way it looks. And then of course you're going to be hanging little strings or with beads or feathers or whatever you want to do around it, and it looks very pretty. So there you have it. You can use the other half of your hoop. What I did with this is that I took this little screw off and I glued the wood together, and then these are separate, and then I put the screw back on so that it can tighten and leave it in place until it dried. But what you want to do once you go around with your string is that you can take the screw off and use those 2 little holes there in the metal part to hang. So both parts of the loop can be used.